You know that feeling, right? That important task is staring you in the face, the deadline is creeping closer, but you just can't start. Instead, you find yourself deep cleaning the kitchen, scrolling through your phone, or suddenly deciding it's the perfect time to organize your sock drawer. We've all been there. We do this even when we know it's going to cause us more stress later. So, why? What is actually happening inside your brain when you procrastinate? It's not what you think. Let's uncover the real science behind why we delay. First, let's get one thing straight. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It's not about being lazy or having poor time management skills. At its core, procrastination is a form of emotional regulation. We delay tasks not because we can't handle the work, but because we're trying to avoid the uncomfortable emotions tied to that work. Feelings like boredom, anxiety, self-doubt, or the immense pressure of perfectionism. When you put off that big project, your brain isn't just being rebellious. It's trying to protect you from immediate discomfort. It's a coping mechanism, plain and simple. So, what's the neurochemical drama playing out in your head? Imagine three key characters in your brain. First, you have the amygdala. This is your emotional alarm system. It's ancient, powerful, and its main job is to detect threats and trigger a fight-or-flight response. When you look at a difficult or stressful task, your amygdala can perceive it as a threat. Then there's the prefrontal cortex. This is the more evolved, rational part of your brain, the CEO, the planner. It's responsible for long-term goals and logical decision-making. Finally, you have the dopamine system, your brain's reward and motivation circuit. Here's where the conflict begins. When the amygdala senses the stress of a task, it sounds the alarm. This emotional reaction can easily overpower the logical prefrontal cortex. Your brain is now in survival mode, seeking immediate relief from the negative feeling. And what provides instant relief? A quick hit of dopamine from something easy and enjoyable, like watching a funny video or checking social media. In that moment, your brain literally trades a future reward, like the satisfaction of finishing your project, for the instant comfort of distraction. That's why scrolling feels so much better than starting. Let's talk more about dopamine, because it's often misunderstood. It's not just the pleasure molecule. More accurately, it's the motivation molecule. Dopamine is released in anticipation of a reward, driving you to pursue it. When a task feels huge, abstract, or the reward is far off in the future, your brain doesn't release much dopamine. There's no chemical push to get started. But here's the secret. Dopamine also spikes when you achieve small, clear goals. Your brain doesn't actually crave the finished, polished, final product. It craves the feeling of making progress. Each small step you take is a little dopamine hit that tells your brain, hey, this is good, let's do more. This ties into a fascinating psychological concept called time inconsistency, or present bias. Our brains are wired to value immediate rewards far more than future ones. Think of it like this. Your future self is disciplined. Future. You want to be productive, healthy, and successful. But your present self is running the show right now, and present you wants comfort, ease, and immediate gratification. It's a constant tug of war. Your brain essentially discounts the value of a future reward. The satisfaction of completing that report next week feels less real and less valuable than the pleasure of watching one more episode right now. Procrastination can also be a clever form of self-protection. This is especially true for those of us who struggle with perfectionism or a fear of judgment. It's a concept some psychologists call ego preservation. Think about it. If you never truly start, you can't really fail. If you delay until the last minute, you can always blame the lack of time for any imperfections, rather than a lack of skill. Your procrastination creates a built-in excuse that protects your self-esteem. In this way, procrastination isn't laziness at all. It's often fear wearing a very convincing disguise. So how do we break this cycle? The good news is that science offers clear, practical strategies that work with your brain, not against it. First, Make your tasks ridiculously small. Don't write the essay. Instead, open the document and write one sentence. This is called chunking, and each tiny completion gives you a microdose of dopamine, building momentum. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Commit to just the first 2 or 5 minutes. The 2-minute rule is powerful because getting started is the hardest part. Once you're in motion, the emotional friction often disappears. Next, change your environment. Our brains are associative. If your phone is your go-to procrastination tool, put it in another room. Create a space that is dedicated only to focused work. This reduces the triggers that tempt your amygdala into seeking distraction. And as you work, reframe the task emotionally. Instead of thinking, "I have to do this," try to connect with the why. Focus on the purpose or the feeling of accomplishment you'll have afterward. Is this task helping you get closer to a personal goal? Will it help someone else? Shifting from obligation to purpose can fundamentally change how your brain perceives the task. And finally, reward your progress. Don't wait until the entire project is done. Finished a small chunk? Allow yourself a 5-minute break to stretch or listen to a song. This reinforces the positive feedback loop in your brain. Ultimately, we need to understand that motivation isn't a matter of logic or willpower. It's an emotional state. You can't just think your way into feeling motivated. You have to manage the emotions that are creating the resistance. The goal isn't to have more discipline. It's to create less friction between you and the tasks that matter. When you connect an action to a sense of meaning, curiosity, or even just the simple satisfaction of progress, your brain's reward system comes back online. And here's a final thought: the paradox of productivity. Even the highest achievers procrastinate. The difference is how they use it. Sometimes procrastination is a vital part of the creative process. It's called strategic delay, and it gives your subconscious mind time to work on a problem in the background. But the key is awareness. It's about choosing when to delay with purpose versus when you're simply avoiding an emotion. Sometimes waiting is a form of thinking, but only if you have the intention to return and act. So the next time you find yourself putting something off, don't beat yourself up. Procrastination isn't a flaw, it's feedback. It's a signal from your brain telling you where your emotions and your goals have fallen out of sync. It's pointing to a task that feels meaningless, overwhelming, or threatening to your ego. You're not lazy, you're human. And the most powerful thing to remember is that the moment you start, no matter how small the step, your brain chemistry begins to change in your favor. Motivation isn't something you find, it's something you create, one tiny action at a time. Thanks for watching. If this helped you understand your own brain a little better, consider liking this video and subscribing for more insights into the science of living well. We'll see you in the next one.